This is video number 46 titled Perception. What if I told you that the way you perceive your experiences is shaping your reality? What if I told you that your perception of what is good or bad might not always be accurate, and that the things you see as obstacles, failures, or negative events could actually be steps towards something much greater? Perception is everything. How you see the world, how you interpret your experiences, and how you frame the things that happen to you. All of these influence not just your mindset, but the outcomes in your life. Think about it. We all experience difficult moments, setbacks, challenges, disappointments. It's easy to view those moments as purely negative, as things going wrong. But what if that's not the full story? What if, instead, these experiences are helping you grow, are teaching you something vital, are guiding you towards something better, something you can't see yet? Your perception of life shapes your reality. It's not the events themselves that define your life, but how you perceive and respond to them. And if you can shift your perception, you can unlock a new level of understanding and fulfillment. Perception is the key to unlocking the hidden potential in every situation, no matter how hard or uncomfortable it might feel in the moment. Today, we're going to explore how your perception plays a critical role in your journey toward your goals. We'll talk about how the way you interpret events, especially the ones that seem negative, could be the very thing that leads you to success. The challenges you face don't have to be roadblocks. They could be signs that you're on the right path, nudging you in a direction you wouldn't have gone otherwise. It's all about how you see it. So take a deep breath and get ready to open your mind to the possibility that everything, even the tough times, can be working for your good. Let me tell you about a story of someone who changed their life by changing their perception. Imagine someone who worked tirelessly toward their dream job. This person put in years of hard work, education, and effort, but when the time came for a big promotion, they were passed over. The disappointment was crushing. It felt like a personal failure, like all their hard work had been for nothing. Their initial perception was that this setback was a sign that they weren't good enough, that they had somehow failed. For weeks, they wrestled with feelings of inadequacy, anger, frustration, and confusion. They started to question everything, their career, their worth, their future. It would have been easy for them to give up or settle for less, but then something shifted. This person made the decision to change their perception of the situation. Instead of seeing the missed promotion as a failure, they started to see it as an opportunity. They asked themselves, what can I learn from this? What's the bigger picture here? Instead of dwelling on what they didn't achieve, they started to focus on what they could do differently. They realized that perhaps the job they were aiming for wasn't truly aligned with their long-term goals. Maybe being passed over was a blessing in disguise, pushing them to think bigger, to aim higher, to seek opportunities that were more in tune with their true passions. With this shift in perception, they didn't just wait for the next promotion. They started exploring other paths, learning new skills, networking in different industries, and eventually finding a position that not only paid better, but was far more fulfilling than the one they had originally aimed for. What had initially seemed like a setback, something bad, turned out to be one of the best things that ever happened to them. What changed? Not the situation itself, but how they perceived it. That's the key. Once they saw that the obstacle was actually a redirection, they were able to move forward with renewed energy and optimism. They understood that what seemed like a door closing was really another one opening, one they hadn't even thought to knock on before. This story is a powerful reminder that perception is everything. The event, the missed promotion, was neutral. It was the person's interpretation of it, their perception, that determined whether it was a failure or an opportunity. The moment they chose to see it in a positive light, everything changed. So what's the lesson here? The lesson is that the way you perceive things is the lens through which you experience life. You can look at a challenge and see defeat, or you can look at that same challenge and see it as a stepping stone. The choice is yours. Your perception is a filter. It colors your world and shapes your reality. When you face adversity, it's easy to perceive it as something gone wrong. But what if instead you could train yourself to see these moments as part of the process, as necessary steps towards your growth and success? Here's the truth. Life is always happening for you, not to you. It may not always feel that way in the moment, especially when things get tough. but every experience has the potential to teach you something valuable, to move you closer to where you want to be. The key is how you choose to perceive it. Next time you're faced with a setback, pause for a moment. Instead of reacting with frustration or disappointment, ask yourself a few simple questions. What is this experience trying to teach me? How could this situation be helping me grow? What new possibilities could come from this? The more you practice asking these questions, the more you'll start to see that life's challenges aren't all necessarily negative. They might just be a part of the journey that leads to something better. In fact, many successful people will tell you that their greatest achievements came after their greatest setback. Why? Because they shifted their perception. They didn't let the initial disappointment define them. They chose to see the bigger picture. You have the same ability, no matter what challenges you're facing, whether it's in your career, your relationships, your personal goals. Remember that how you perceive those challenges will determine how you move forward. You can choose to see them as roadblocks or as opportunities for growth. The choice is yours. One way to start shifting your perception is to practice gratitude, even in tough times. When you're in the middle of a difficult situation, it can be hard to see the silver lining, but there is always something to be grateful for. Gratitude helps you shift your focus from what's going wrong to what's still going good in your life. It helps you maintain a sense of perspective and balance. Another way is to remind yourself that setbacks are temporary. Just because something feels hard right now doesn't mean it will always be that way. Life is constantly changing, and so are you. What feels like a failure today might look completely different a few months or years down the line. Sometimes, the very thing you perceive as a setback is exactly what you need to push you in a new direction. Trust that God has a bigger plan for you. You don't always have to know what that plan is in order to trust that everything is unfolding as it should. Sometimes you have to let go of the need to control every outcome and know that things are working out, even if you can't see it yet. Remember, your perception is the lens through which you view your life. If you can shift that lens, you can transform your reality. What might seem like a negative experience at the moment could be the very thing that helps you grow, learn, and move closer to your goals. In the end, it's not the events themselves that shape your life, but how you perceive them. You have the power to choose your perception, and in doing so, you have the power to shape your future. The next time life throws you a curveball, take a deep breath and remind yourself, this is not the end. This is just a part of the journey. How you perceive it will make all the difference. Choose to see the lesson. Choose to see the opportunity. Choose to believe that, even in the hard moments, everything is happening for your growth and for your good. Like this video and leave a comment right now.